Dirtle Magic. Hello and welcome back. You can follow our post on Twitter and Facebook at DirtleMTG to stay up to date on our latest videos and other posts, and you can join a more robust discussion about Casual Commander at our blog, TheDiceBag.blog. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content to help the channel and the blog grow. Another way you can support the channel, though, is through our affiliate links in the description below. If you're looking for single sealed product or gaming accessories to protect all of that glory, please consider clicking the links in the description. Now, grab some spells, it's time to dirtle. Hello and welcome back to Dirtle Magic. Today we're playing some more Leinore Autumn Sovereign. Looking at our opening hand, 4 lands but no green. Could get to stuff, but I think we'll take the free mulligan here. Whoops, I accidentally pushed keep the hand. That is not what I wanted to do. Well, crap. Our first opponent with a Bloodstained Mire into play, and cracked in the second main, is Extus, Auric Overlord, or Awaken the Blood Avatar. Front side! 1 white, black for legendary 2/4 human warlock. Double strike and magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, return target non-legendary creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Awaken the Blood Avatar, 6 black, red on the backside. Sorcery, as an initial cost to cast the spell, you may sacrifice a number of creatures. The spell costs 2 lives for each creature sacrificed this way. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Create a 3/6 black and red avatar creature token with haste, and whenever this creature attacks, it deals 3 damage to each opponent. Forest into play for our second opponent, but we'll get to that in a minute. Rolling on over to us, we get a Merry Shepherd. Let's go Plains and pass it off. Our second opponent is Sythis Harvest Hand. Green-white for legendary Nymph, 1/2, an enchantment creature by the way. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Our commander, Leinore Autumn Sovereign, is 2 green-white for legendary 0/4 human noble. Coven, at the beginning of combat on your turn, play 1/1 card up to 1 target creature you control. Then if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, draw a card. And our last opponent with an Evolving Wilds into play and cracked is Koma, the Cosmos Serpent. 3 green, blue for legendary 6/6 serpent. This spell can't be countered. At the beginning of each upkeep, get a 3/3 blue serpent creature token named Koma's Coil. Sacrifice another serpent, choose 1. Tap target permanent, its activated abilities can't be activated, or this gains indestructible until end of turn. They have an island come into play. Extus with Isolated Chapel into play, followed by a cycling of Drifting Meadow. To Sythis' turn, Sythis Harvest Hand coming down for that player. To our turn we get Arctic Treeline, which defeats the purpose of Search for Glory, but let's go ahead and play it and pass it off. I had thought about putting some extra snow lands in here, but at least we can still get a legendary card of some kind. Over to Koma. Just a forest in play looks like. Smoldering Marsh in play on Extus' turn, followed by a cycling of Valiant Rescuer. Could be a cycling deck. It would be a good way to get back their creatures that cycle, so that's an interesting take. To the Harvest Hand's turn, Temple Garden into play untapped. They are down to 38. We have Aspect of the Mongoose. Enchant creature has Shroud, put in the graveyard from the battlefield, Aspect returns. Typical Enchantress deck. What can you do? Font of Fertility coming down as well. No attacks to our turn, we get a Forest. Yeah, let's go ahead and play it. I think we'll just sit here for now. Let's go ahead and pass it off. Get to our commander next turn, then maybe search for something with Search for Glory. I'm not too keen on searching for anything right now until we know more about how the board will develop. I imagine Enchantress will do what it does, Koma will make the Serpents be nigh unkillable, and Extus I don't know, because if they are a cycling deck, I'm kind of excited to see that. Koma's turn, by the way, Hinterland Harbor, followed by Findhorned Elves. Extus' turn sees the Auric Overlord gracing the battlefield. Over to the Harvest Hand, Nykthos Shrine to Nyx into play. Okay, Swords to Plowshares on Extus, that was fast. Huh, wonder why. Extus I've almost never seen. It's usually the backside that's being used as a commander, so that interests me a little bit, the dynamic going on there. Fertile Ground coming down, a little bit extra mana for the Harvest Hand. No attacks again, we get Swords to Plowshares. That's fine with me. Plains into play, and commander time. And to combat, put a counter on Leinore, sure. And we'll pass it off after that. Koma's turn sees Leinore Elves come into play. Extus' turn sees Alpine Meadow into play. Unfortunately, I think that's it for him this turn. Harvest Hand with a Selesnya Signet into play. 5 cards in hand otherwise. Followed by Arcane Signet. I believe that's the Secret Lair one. I do have one that I picked up as a single. Use it in some decks, but I do like it a lot better than the other art. I don't know, the thing on the hand just looks like it's in the wrong place. Like, it should be a ring, but it's not a ring, and then it's, like, grafted into, like, between the knuckles, but not center. I don't know. The art just bugs me. Starheim Courser? Okay. Basically some cost reduction for enchantments. To our turn, we get a Plains. Let's go Gavany Township, actually. And let's go Vanquisher's Barrett. We really don't have anything else happening at the moment, so why not? Let's choose Human. This is the majority of our deck anyway. Go to combat, put a counter on Leinore. I guess we could swing into the Harvest Hand. Nothing seems to be really happening. And we don't really need anything up for defense at the moment. And yeah, let's go swinging. Over to the Harvest Hand. Damage is good. They're up to 3 commander, down to 38. Let's pass it off. 2 Koma's turn, Grow from the Ashes gets kicked. Exploration hits the stack. Playing some additional lands could be good. At the end of Koma's turn, Desert of the Fervent gets a cycle. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a cycling deck. They even have a cycling triggered creature here. So I really hope Extus kind of gets going because I just want to see what's happening. Then again, all the decks I want to see tend to end up dying or leaving the game. So maybe I should take that back. Extus' turn, by the way. We have a Blood Crypt into play. It is Razaketh's Right. Search your library for card, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Has cycling, makes sense. 5 mana tutor though. Oof. The Harvest Hand turn, land into play. 3 cards in hand after the draw. That's a bit unusual for an Enchantress deck. Sythis Champion coming down. So it gets larger and they draw a card when they cast enchantments. Sorry, when enchantments come into play, my mistake. Sword of the Perons. Okay, that's not something I expected to see. I use this as a combo piece in some things, especially like Krenko, if I can get, Skirk Prospector out with enough goblins. So I am somewhat concerned it's a combo piece. I mean, it doesn't do too much else. It's like a really bad Glory of Warfare. So if you're unfamiliar with Sword of the Perons, 4, it's an artifact equipment. 3 to equip. 3, you may tap or untap the equipped creature. As long as the equipped creature is tapped, creatures they control get 2-0, and as long as it's untapped, they get 0-2. We have an attack. It's a flying dude off into our face. Yeah, we'll be taking 2. We go down to 38. Alright, rolling on over to us. Harvest Hand, 1 card in hand. So not too bad. Our turn gives us Hamza, Guardian of Arashin. Nice. Well, in theory, I am testing it out still. This is the first time I've seen it. Let's go ahead and summon him, sure. We get a little bit of cost reduction there. Only 1, though. It says 1 less for each creature we can control the 1/1 counter on it, not the counter's total. So, just an FYI. Let's go to combat. We'll put a counter on Hamza. That'll help us get some cost reduction going. And do the attacks. Let's go ahead and get some damage in on Koma for now. I do want to smack the Harvest Hand again, but I don't want Koma to go around unscathed. Looks like we have a response. It's Pontifying our commander. Why you gotta be doing those things, man? We'll put her back in the command zone. We get an Ebb token. I guess that's something. Let's go ahead and pass it off. We have our own removal up. Next turn, get down our commander. We'll get some cost reduction and a card for it, so it's not all bad. It's Bane of Progress. And there goes just about everything. Aspect of the Mongoose will come back. The Harvest Hand can go back to the command zone. Again, we lose the banner. Not too bad, though. Get down our commander next turn. Draw a card. Maybe do swords onto the Bane just so we can get through for some damage. Extus' turn. Smoldering Crater into play, so another cycle land. Rooting Moloch. When enters the battlefield, exile a card from cycling from your graveyard. Until end of turn, you may play that card. This itself has cycling. Okay, so that's not too bad. I guess they're going to be doing a land, technically. They can't cast anything else, so a bit of a sad face there, and a land would be a good choice. Well, if they hadn't already played one. Oh, it's played till the end of the next turn. Nice. Over to the Harvest Hand, 3 cards in hand after the draw. Let's see if they get anything else going. The Harvest Hand coming back down for that player. And we have a Constellation Trigger. First time this game, I believe, from the champion. Aspect of the Mongoose coming back down. Oh, it's onto the Sythis Champion. Okay. I mean, it could eventually be a big beater. And no attack to the Harvest Hand. Rolling on over to us. I was initially going to get rid of the Bane of Progress, but I want to see where they send it first. I do want to keep the removal for Koma, just to make that a little bit more difficult for him. We get Hidden Dragon Slayer. Nice. That's one of the other pieces of removal I add in. Plus, it's a human. Let's play a Plains. Let's get our commander back down. Forgot about the cost reduction. Again, this is the first time I've seen Hamza in all my testing. So do I want to do anything with that mana? Probably not. Let's just go to the next step. Go to combat. Put a counter on Leinore. We get Sarth the Viper's Fang. Could be good later. Also gives us a target for Finn on the Search for Glory. Let's just pass it off. No attacks. Want to see where the Bane is going? And if they cast Koma, I do want to get rid of Koma. It's Consecrated Sphinx. Well, it's not double mana, but I don't particularly like that card either. I do own one. I got the Secret Lair one as a single. I haven't had the heart to use it yet, though. Some effects just seem too powerful to me. Doubling up stuff or tripling it is too powerful. Bane, it's often to us. Man, our face is just so pretty. People just like smacking it. Alright, let's get rid of the Bane. I was hoping they'd go into the Harvest Hand for a sec there. It gets exiled. They gain 11 life, though, up to 51 on Koma's side. Okay, well, hopefully with the extra card draw now, we can go and get some extra removal before Koma comes around to smack us. The Consecrated Sphinx is going to be a pain in the butt, though. Speaking of, it triggers for the first time this game, rolling on over to Extus. We have a Plateau to play. I guess they're going to use their tutor. Oh, that is a lot of mana. One short of a Ruinous Ultimatum. Deadly Vanity. Choose a creature or planeswalker and the rest are destroyed. Man, I tell you, every game is the board wipes. I used to like never see any. Now everybody's got one, which is better overall, but a pain in the butt. Oh, we have Pact of Negation straight out of Koma. Oof. On the bright side, that means they can't cast Koma next turn, but we gotta keep our board. Hurrah! Pact of Negation is another card I picked up when it got reprinted in Time Spiral Remastered. It's also another card I haven't had the heart to use yet. Over to the Harvest Hand. Let's see what they do with the turn. They did have a lane come into play. 5 cards in hand otherwise. Pretty much recovered their hand anyway. Their board state not so much, but never underestimate Enchantress's ability to come back. It's Shalai, Voice of Plenty, a card we have in here that I don't know if we've seen, maybe in the first game. But yeah, getting that should be pretty good for us as well. We do have some hexproof for us with the Viper's Fang though. I actually do like this card a lot, the design. Might build something around it, haven't decided yet. Alright, no attacks out of the Harvest Hand again. Rolling on over to us. We get a Plains. Do need some more green sources though. I do want to cast the Viper's Fang, and the cost reduction would make it green-green, but then we're just kind of stuck. Well, let's go Plains anyway. Let's morph. Only cost us 1 thanks to that cost reduction. Hamza's working out real well right now. And I guess then we could commit the Viper's Fang and hope they don't have another wipe. Leaves up a lot of white mana, so we have Selfless Squire in the pocket just in case. Go to combat. Let's get some counter things done. Put it on the Ape so we can maintain our Coven. Banish your Priest. That'll be nice. And let's go to combat. Swing our commander over at Koma. And I think that's it for now. Okay, second main. Let's banish something. We'll get rid of the Sphinx. Do want to get rid of Shalai. However, Koma has more cards in hand, and getting Koma down is probably something they need to do. And their next turn is stifled from Pact of Negation, so hopefully we'll be able to draw something for Shalai. Over to Koma's turn, Pact of Negation triggers on the upkeep. They have to pay it or they lose. And they are paying it. Gaia's Cradle into play for Koma. Eternal Witness coming to the battlefield. Pact of Negation or Grow from the Ashes? Oh, Expiration. Yeah, didn't see that coming. Just wanted to drop all the extra lands out of their hand, I suppose. Exploration coming to the battlefield. Yeah, makes sense to me. Let's to discard. Castle Garenbrig into play. And this one does what? Add 6 mana if you pay 4 mana. Spend it only to cast creature spells or activate abilities of creatures. Green is a color that does not need the cost reduction. Why they keep giving it to green, I have no idea. Great Henge, that thing, Gore Claw. Yeah, I don't get it. To the cleanup step, let's see what Koma discards. Hopefully something to give us a little bit of insight, but it looks like it's kind of just a ramp, control, use Koma to win kind of deck. They discard Frilled Mystic, so counter magic. Probably the more expensive one they have. And Sphinx of the Second Sun. Whoops. Man, I really hope they fix that someday where these things stop closing. Oh well. Over to Extus, getting some mana tapped down. Is it the tutor this time? Nope. Still a lot of mana. For their commander, Extus Auric Overlord. I am glad Extus was able to recover from it being destroyed almost immediately. This seems like an interesting deck. We have a cycling Desert Ceradon. Flame Jab deals 1 target to any creature, and they get to retrace it. They also get to return a creature from their graveyard to their hand. Flame Jab is going after the Leinore Elves. Hall of Heliod's Generosity. Okay. We have an attack. The Rooting Moloch is off into Koma. Damage is good. Koma down to 46. Second main, just tapping down some mana, looks like, on Extus' side. Rolling over to the Harvest Hand. Ghostly Prison. Well, had to happen at some point. Sythis Champion will trigger again. It gets larger and they draw a card. Wild Growth. Enchant land. Get more mana. We have an attack. Flyer off into Koma. Sure. We don't have any flyers either, but we could kind of overwhelm their forces currently. The Sythis Champion isn't large enough to directly threaten too much, and we do have Death Touch on the attack. To our turn, a Plains, or we might just want to get a Forest if I had a snow-covered Forest in the deck. Plains into play. Let's go Search for Glory. Full cost, though. No cost reduction there. Yeah, let's go Finn. And then keep up mana for the Silver Squire. Put Finn on the battlefield. Attack into Koma, take them out of the game. Then Harvest Hand kind of knows what we're doing, though, so that is a little bit problematic. Yeah, I think we should wait. Let's go to combat. Get a counter, put on the Viper. Still have Coven, draw a card, see what we get. Nature's Claim is pretty good. Let's go Hamza into the hand and Leinore over into Koma. We will pay the 2 to do so. Alright, damage is good all around. Koma down to 43, up to 2 commander. Harvest Hand down to 35. And let's just pass it off there. We do also have removal in our Morph. We just can't hit Shalaya with it. She's not 4 power, unfortunately. So let's just hold on to both the Silver Squire and Nature's Claim. See how things go. Tatyova Benthic Druid coming down. Yep, generically good Simic card. It's Koma Cosmos Serpent coming down for the first time this game. Okay, time to blow something up. Let's Mega Morph. Because it's morphin' time. Let's blow up Koma. Koma back to the command zone, over to Extus. They really haven't done too much with the game. I am leery about it, but cycling itself is a cool strategy, but not the strongest strategy. Unless they get some blinks going. That might be different then. But let's see what happens. Extus and the Ruling Moloch on the attack. Both off into the Koma player. Damage is good. Koma up to 4 commander damage from Extus. Down to 35 total. We have Flame Jab. It's being retraced to go poke the Eternal Witness in the eyeball. Extus will also trigger. They're going to get back the Valiant Rescuer. And there is the Valiant Rescuer. They get some tokens on the defense when they cycle cards. Sanctum Weaver coming down for Harvest Hand on their turn. Mana Dork, X mana, where X is the enchantments you control. So, kind of like, what was it, Sarah's Realm? I forget what the land specifically is called. Sarah's Sanctum, that's the one. Except in green. Rampant Growth to this deck. Harvest Hand going to go get a land. A Forest into play tapped for them. I think at end of turn, we will blow up the Ghostly Prison. Pending they don't do another Pillow Fort enchantment necessarily. I want to try and swing into them with all the Death Touch damage. Hopefully pump our guys a little bit. Get down Finn. Keep up mana for Silver Squire. Lots of things I want to accomplish. Ideally, I would also prefer like Heroic Intervention or something to protect our guys on the attack because we will be losing some people, I'm pretty sure. No attacks. Rolling on over to us. Ah, I misclicked it. Hey, Unbreakable Formation. So, let's see. We can still do Nature's Claim. Let's go ahead and do that. Blow up the Ghostly Prison. Let's go Finn. And go to attacks. And let's go Unbreakable Formation just for the addendum. Let's do it right now. Our guys mostly have Hexproof, so it's not too shabby. And 2 attacks. We get a counter. Let's put it on the Viper just to keep her out of more removal range. Blossoming Sands to hand. A little bit of life gain and another green source finally. And off into the Harvest Hand we go. Full attack. We have Vigilance, which is glorious. And we have a response. I'm hoping it's not Sell the Wreckage. Oh, it's just straight up Fog. Man, that stinks. Really want to win through poison damage once. On the bright side, all of our guys got a 1/1 counter, so that's not too bad. Just a little bit annoying now. Alright, let's play Blossoming Sands, get a life back. We'll go up to 39. And we'll pass it off there. Mana up for the Squire, not much else. End of turn, looks like we have a response. We have a Cycling. They get a token, and a first strike counter onto something. They'll be putting that counter onto the Valiant Rescuer. Over to Koma. Arixmethes the Slumbering Isle. We covered that during Timeswap Remastered, I think. I'll put a link in the description. We did a Tron deck version of it. It was clunky. Moderately successful, more or less, but pretty clunky. Comes into play as a land, Tatiova will trigger. Cultivate for Koma. Arixmethes will trigger for the first time this game. They are down to 4 slumbering counters. More land into play, more life, more card draw, and yet another land. Exploration will do that for you. So, next turn, I'm thinking we actually, assuming our board states remain anyway, taking out Koma. Koma seems to be largely a distraction to me, and I don't want to have to deal with them later necessarily. I do like the pressure they potentially put on our other opponents. However, I don't want to have to deal with them getting out of hand either. So as long as they don't play too many extra blockers, I think we'll just take them out. Heuristic Study coming down. Was that the Judge promo? I don't remember what art that was. I don't particularly like that art though. Arixmethes will trigger again. I mean, it should have like, I don't know, like some floating books or something. I don't even know what that guy's doing. He's just like, watch me glow in the dark. That was it for Koma. Over to Extus, who still scares me. Mardu is very good at the board wiping, and we need to draw into some protection before we go full offense against people. And the board is getting a little bit cluttered, so somebody's probably going to be tempted to wipe at some point. We have an attack. All of it off into Koma. Koma takes it all, up to 8 commander, down to 28. Second main phase. We have Astral Drift. Yeah, there's the blinking stuff I was talking about. Heuristic Study also triggers for the first time this game. Swan Song. Okay. Straight up counter. It did look like they paid for the Heuristic Study, so good on them. They get a bird. That's nice, I guess. Over to the Harvest hand, 7 cards in hand after the draw, and they worry me the most actually on board right now, because we still need to get through their defenses, and they could very easily have a board wipe in a way to protect themselves, like they have the Fog, they could have Heroic Intervention, all the things we have basically. So, somewhat concerning, probably going to be the hardest to kill. I do prefer to kill them first, but we're going to need a little bit more oomph. Celestial Ancient. I haven't seen that card used in an enchantment build in forever. Love the art on it though. This was original Ravnica. The original Ravnica block. This is specifically Dissension, and it did have an enchantment sub-theme throughout. It just wasn't very prominent. That's where the Mage Mark cycle comes from, if you're familiar with those. So yeah, next turn, Koma poisoned to death, save self a Squire for the crackback on the Harvest hand. Hopefully they don't have Vigilance. Prevent the damage, make a really big dude, crackback. So far, Idyllic Tutor. Okay, more Pillow Fort would be super bad right now. I'm going to guess if they have to get one, Spear of Safety would be the most efficient for the cost. It's Stasis Snare. They could exile our Viper's Fang. Hopefully they'll target something on Koma's side. That way we don't get hit and they waste it more or less. Does have Flash though. That's problematic. Stasis Snare coming down, and we won't know what it targets until it hits the battlefield. A number of triggers. Celestial Ancient triggers for the first time this game. Yep, they're gonna hit the Viper's Fang. Sad face. We do have more removal in the deck, like I said earlier in the game. Hitting it though has been somewhat problematic. If we can hit that removal on this next draw or two, and then use it, would be fantastic. We have an attack. Aligned to us. Yep, we'll be taking the fort down to 35. To our turn, we get a Forest. That is not what we need, though. I want to wait for Plains to play the Ameri Shepherd so we can get back the banner. That would be my preference. But I suppose we can get down a flyer for the defense. Nothing has Shroud, though, which is problematic. Heuristic Study will trigger. We'll pay the 1. Go to combat. Put a counter on the Shepherd. We get Bountiful Promenade. Again, not very helpful. Let's go Hamza into Koma. And Finn into... Yeah, let's send it over at the Harvest hand. See if they want to take it and trade with something. We can make it larger at instant speed, so not too much of an issue. And if they don't, they get some poison. Oh, looks like we have a response anyway. Karamech's Blessing. Target creature gains 2/2 till end of turn. If the enchanted creature or enchantment creature gains hexproof and indestructible. Okay, so that'll make it 4. Let's go ahead and respond by activating the Galvany Township. They do pay the 1 for the Heuristic Study for Karamech's Blessing. And we should be able to survive this combat, no problem. Koma takes 8, going down to 20. Let's pass it off. Again, mana up for the Squire. It used to be 7, but since we did the Galvani Township, Hamza got bigger. Koma says if I don't attack them, they'll windfall and give me a new hand. I mean, they're probably going to want to windfall anyway at some point, so no go. Plus, they're blowing up Hamza, which is super not cool, man. So in either case, we're not going to take that deal. Making a deal for a wheel is usually more beneficial for the person who has the wheel, so I don't particularly care. They're also drawing a lot of cards anyway. So while we do need the removal, I don't think it's a good idea. Search for tomorrow some more lands, and Arixmethes triggers again. That should be the last counter if they want to take it off. Arixmethes wakes up and is no longer slumbering. Ooh, we have Triumph of the Hordes. Man, I didn't get to do the poison. I wanted to do the fin poisoning. I'm actually kind of hoping it randomly goes off into the Harvest Hand. That would be my preference. Biases, of course. And there's the Windfall. I had considered casting Self-Esquire earlier, but I didn't really see the reason to, considering it was, our turn. So a problem with Windfall is we go after the Harvest Hand, and they'll be able to just jack stuff straight out of their deck. Hopefully we get a mass board wipe like Winds of Abandon would be fantastic, and some enchantment removal to poison them to death, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, we did get Obzon Falconer, we did get a Plains, which is nice. Generous gift, so not what we wanted, but not too bad. Let's see what happens. We have Explore, more landfalls. We also have Kodama's Reach, even more landfall. Still waiting to see where they're going to attack. That has me worried. We can absorb all of the damage or some of it, but it also is a detriment to us. We could use Generous Gift to destroy Arixmethes if it comes at us, but I want to destroy the Stasis Snare. So probably the Stasis Snare would be better. We take a little bit of poison, we kill their creature, we get our Hexproof back, and probably just sacrifice the Beast token. Seems legit. The Isle, who does not yet slumber but is infected, goes off into the Extus player. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but they have been being harassed all day. We have Fluid Mind on the Cycling Valiant Rescuer will trigger. If they block with the remaining tokens, they would be able to survive the infect damage. So not too bad. Alright, let's see how they block. Yeah, all the tokens. Yeah, there we go. All the token creatures go down for Extus. They are to 9 infect. They survive. End of turn, Heart of the Broken Lands gets a cycle. Ingius Pouncer also getting a mountain cycling. To Extus' turn, Hall of Heliod's Generosity for the Astral Drift. That's why it's in there. There's also Astral Slide. I wonder if that's also in there. Astral Drift coming down. It's Flame Jab again. They are going to take out the Fyndhorn Elves. I did not see what Extus got back. I think it was a Ceradon of some kind. I'm sure they'll play it at some point. Elf down. We have some attacks. Still off into Koma from Extus. Extus and the Moloch going over there. No blocks out of Koma. Damage is good. Up to 12 Commander, down to 17. To the Harvest Hand's turn, Ajani's Chosen coming down. Yeah, I love that card. It's just basic, simplistic. It gets the job done. There's a better card now. I forget what it's called. Makes Pegasuses? Or Pegasi, I suppose. Problem is, no one ever lets me keep it. Like, I've had the one that makes flyers survive more often than Ajani's Goldmane. I don't know, people might just not like cat people. I don't know what it is. Enchantress's Presence. More card draw. I do hope they tap out a lot of their mana and leave nothing up. At end of turn, I want to blow up the Stasis and fly on over for some infect damage, basically. Or I guess some poison, more specifically, and eliminate the hand player. Enchantment into play. Ajani's Chosen triggers for the first time this game. They get a kitty. The Koma player was informing me that it's up to me to get the last infect damage in on Extus. Extus is probably my last target, just based on how the deck's been performing. I mean, they could be holding on to something forever. I played a paper game the other day where I held on to Treacherous Terrain and didn't cycle it away. Ended up doing like 8 to 10 damage to my opponents. So, you never know. We have a lot of mana getting tapped over there on the Harvest Hand side. Don't like seeing that. Calyx Destiny's Hand, so some removal. Might have to blow up the Stasis for that, because it does exile target creature or enchantment they don't control. Oh, they also have a Hall of Heliod's Generosity, just the old frame. They're activating Calyx's Plus ability. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an enchantment card among them and put it into your hand. Okay, nothing got revealed, so that's nice for us. We have Shalai. It's off into Koma, sure. Less work we have to do over there. Koma is a very scary, self-contained engine of a commander While it doesn't provide card advantage, if it gets going, it's almost unkillable unless there's a concerted effort against it. Koma is down to 12. Let's go ahead and blow up that stasis. An elephant for you, my good sir, or ma'am, or them. And we cannot pay for a 6A. Koma will get to draw a card. Our guys have hexproof again. Hurrah! Hopefully the hand doesn't have any instant speed interaction and we can knock them out of the game this coming turn. Overgrown farmland, lots of lands into play. Not my favorite. Let's go plains. Trigger Emeria Shepherd. Get back the Vanquisher's banner. We'll pick humans again. Summon the Obzon Falconer, sorry. We'll pay the 1 for study. Ooh, Beast Within. Always good to have removal. Go to combat. Let's go ahead and put a counter on the Beast token. That way it will gain flying. And that means we can attack, have the Death Touch. Happy days, we get Conclave Mentor. A little late for that. And let's go to combat. We'll swing everything we can over at the hand. We do have the ability to untap one of our creatures and give it hexproof if we need to kind of trounce some spot removal. But they will be able to kill some of our creatures. The trades will be worth it though. Ooh, double block. They just want to get rid of it. So combat damage doesn't use the stack anymore. So they will still die to the poison. Alright, so that's 9 damage we have to absorb, which is just not happening. So Finn will most likely die. Let's just go ahead and let it happen. Sure, we'll do 2 damage to each, why not? The hand player is down to 11. And there they go, they die to infect. We managed to pull it off. Good game to our opponent. Turn 12 though, things are a little pain in the butt right now. Let's go ahead and play our Conclave Mentor because why not? Ristic Sight will trigger again. Do want to leave up mana for untapping potentially and the Beast Within, but this should be enough. Let's pay for the study. And we will pass it off there. Do have enough mana for Galvany Township too if nothing happens, but something's probably going to happen. Koma's turn, land into play. Landfall trigger. We know what it does. They have a lot of mana. I am worried about a Psych Rift. That would be very detrimental. We could recover, but not fast enough, I don't think, to do anything useful. Azusa lost but seeking. We have Strip Mine on the Galvany Township. Do we want to use the Galvany Township? I don't think we do. I think our board position is good enough. Let's let it go. No reason to flip the mana either necessarily. I think they're going to go straight to combat. If we really need to untap something, we still have the mana. Also, the Coven counters did not come with a Galvany Township. What a complete and absolute miss. We have Koma coming down. You know, I'm fine with that. They don't fly or anything, and they can't really do anything to us besides tap down some stuff. Once our guys have hexproof, that won't be an issue. Elvish Mystic also coming down. Ooh, we have Craterfoot Behemoth. Having Arixmethes trample over is not my favorite. So let's go ahead and kill Arixmethes. Or at least we'll attempt to kill Arixmethes. They may have an answer. They do have blue floating. And another blue. Could be Lazotep Plating or something. Simic Charm. Never know. Oh, it's just mana drain. Straight counter. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's par for the course at this point. I think we untap our commander and absorb everything we can. If they want to attack with everything, then we kind of have to. Crowhoof enters the battlefield. We can absorb 8 of it. I don't know if it's going to be enough. We also have the Viper's Fang. We don't really need poison anymore against Koma anyway. The Falconer, the Flying would be nice. Let's see how much they commit though. Might want to save the Falconer if we can survive. Okay, let's see where they attack. I think they might split up into Extus, but we're both at 41, and we are clearly the threat, although Extus has been poking them all game. So I don't know that they will commit all of them to us. Just 3 attacks. Okay, and they're all off into Extus too. Interesting. We have a cycling. That means we get a blink and a token. So Arixmethes did get blinked out of existence. I did not realize that you could target somebody else's stuff. Yeah, it says target creature. Nice. Okay, so that is less damage. They'll only take 20. Nicely played. Down to 21 for Extus. Mana Drain will give free mana over to the Koma player, just 3. Next turn, drop a land. Get back Finn, finish the game off. Seems like a viable plan at this point. But again, Extus may have something in hand. There's a Rampant Growth for the Koma player. And an Arcane Signet. So, some more ramp for the Koma player, second main. Over to Extus. I do believe that the Koma player has already conceded the game as far as good game in the chat anyway. They do get Arixmethes back. It'll come into play with the Slumber Encounters. But it's never over till it's over. If you're at 1 life, there's the possibility you can still win. And as I say that, Koma quits the game. Well, good game to our opponent, though. Astral Slide will just trigger and not bring anything back. Alright, Extus. It's you and me. I think we're going to win. But like I said, you never know. I mean, they could ruin this ultimatum, and then we are screwed. Extus's turn, land into play. 4 cards in hand otherwise. Usher to safety. Return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. Yeah, I was glad to see that return. White having the self-bounce mechanic seems like a pretty good idea. They did return the Moloch. Let's see what they might do with it. Deadly Vanity. So yeah, that's a board wipe. And unfortunately, we just cannot do anything with that. So our creatures are going to go bye-bye. We will put our commander in the command zone. And we gain 2 life. Now for the slog part of the game, I suppose. We'll need to draw something other than lands would be fantastic. Extus on the attack. It does have double strike. We'll be taking 4 down to 39. And we are up to 4 commander damage. Doesn't look like they might do anything with the second main phase, but they might. They do not. We get Beast Whisperer. Cool. Let's go Forest. Let's go Beast Whisperer. More card draw is always good. We'll recast our commander. We have some card draw triggers. Why the stack was up there, I have no idea. Recast our commander. Inspire and Call. Man, a turn too late, my friend. A turn too late. Bow of Naya as well. Alright, to combat. Let's put a counter on the Beast Whisperer. That way we can defend against Extus, and we'll pass it off. All they need now is a bunch of removal, and we'll not catch up very well. They could also just keep blinking our creatures out of existence. That would be somewhat problematic as well. To their turn proper, though. Let's see what happens. 5 cards in hand. To the attack straight away. I think we'll just take it here. I'm worried about them having a pump. We'll take 4 more, down to 35, up to 8 commander. Shepherd of the Flock coming down. To our turn, Canopy Vista. Unfortunately, our angel is gone from our good graces. Let's go ahead and play Canopy Vista, though. Let's go Bow of Nyla. We will go to the attacks, put a counter on Leinore, and we'll attack with Leinore. Why not? We have an intercept. 3-1 versus our 2-6. That's fine. And we'll pass it there. So Inspire and Call will give us some card draw. That's nice. Do need a 3rd creature to really start ramping up that card draw, preferably human to trigger the Vanquisher's banner. Extus on the attack again. Alright, this time I guess we'll risk the Beast Whisperer since we have some coverage here. We'll put a 1/1 counter on it with the Bow of Nyla. Go to blocks and attempt to kill Extus. I imagine there's a cycle our guy out of the way and he'll lose the counters. Not something I'm too worried about. Yep, there it goes. So we could do Inspire and Call here just to get some card draw, and I think I will. We do have some other board protections in the deck, but we really need to get to something. Looks like we have another response. More cycling. We're not going to get any card draw. Sad face. Oh well. At least the creatures aren't being destroyed. Return her to the command zone. No, she definitely needs to come back. Inspire and Call will simply fizzle. Extus gets a Death Touch counter. However, we did block it, so we will not be taking any damage, luckily for us. End of turn, our critters will come back. And we get Cathar Commando. Cool. Wood Bastion. Cathar Commando is some more removal I put into the deck because you can never have enough. Let's go ahead and summon it. We'll be able to draw some cards. And their lands. That's not helpful at all. I mean, I guess at least we got them out of the way. Let's go to attacks real quick. I don't want to sacrifice it just yet. Put a counter on the Beast Whisperer. Yet another land. Man, we cannot get past those lands. Alright, let's go to attacks. Luckily, he doesn't have lifelink. And they'll just blink our guys away. That's fine as long as we get to keep them. Yadara Wandering Monster. That's one I haven't figured out how to use well yet. They will take the 1 commander. That's fine with me. Any progress at this point's good. Well, let's pass it off. Unfortunately, all in our hand is nothing but lands. Land blocks tend to suck that way. End of turn. We have some more cycling. They're going to cycle our commando away. Yeah, that's fine. And they cycle a Rooting Moloch. So the problem I have with destroying Astral Drift right now is they have the Hall of Helios Generosity, and 2 of our 3 land destructions are gone. We do have Field of Ruin. Ironically, that's not a land we've drawn. We cannot block. We will be taking 4 commander damage again. That leaves us 2 turns to deal with something here. Unfortunately, Extus is well protected by the Astral Drift, and Astral Drift is well recoverable with the Hall of Heliod. So we're definitely going to need to draw something other than lands. We are down to 31, up to 12. We have Flame Jab, we'll take 1 damage. Extus will trigger. I mean, they could get back the board wipe. They could also get back the tutor. They're going to get back Herald of the Forgotten. Yeah, that's pretty good. Too bad Bow of Nyla isn't graveyard hate for the enemy. It only lets us do things to our graveyard. Looks like they are casting the Herald, which means a ton of just really bad stuff happening to us. Unfortunately, I don't know how we're going to get out of this one. Extus is less than half down. We are also less than half down, but we just can't get through the blinking. And even if we destroy it, if we can't exile it, we just can't get anywhere. They are going to return a lot of cycling things, lots of lands, and a lot of critters on board. Speaking of, we have not seen a board wipe from ourselves yet. That would also be really nice. They're going to exile Akroma's Vengeance. I think we have Austere Command in here, if I remember correctly. We'll go ahead and gain 3 life. Why not? War Priest of Thune. Pretty good. Let's go ahead and play Castle Ardenvale. Maybe get some extra blockers up. War Priest is still not something we necessarily needed, but we don't have to use the Cathar Commando just yet either, and we get some card draw. At least it's not a land. Esper Sentinel, okay. Shamanic Revelation, get some more life back. Alright, let's see if we can destroy the Astral Drift. I imagine they'll blink a bunch of our stuff in response. Seems legit. Alright, let's go ahead and do Shamanic Revelation. Don't really care about the life gain, we just need cards. Super, super bad. We get Kogla, nice. Soul of the Harvest could be even more card draw, although we don't have cost reduction. Kogla coming down, fighting Extus wouldn't necessarily be the best thing. Could take out something else, potentially. Could also save one of our human people. Alright, let's go ahead and play Esper Sentinel. Just need some board density at this point. The extra card draw is also nice. Maybe get down Kogla and fight the Horror. Ah, man, we just keep drawing lands. No bueno. Alright, let's just get down Kogla. No other humans to draw off of. So we do get Beast Whisperer, that's nice. Another land. Ugh. And we'll fight that guy because he can just get bigger every time they cycle something. We have a response, Eternal Dragon getting cycled. It'll get bigger. Kogla will die in response to the fight and all that jazz. They would have to cycle 1 more card for the Horror of the Sands to survive. Sorry, Horror of the Broken Lands. My mistake. And there he goes. 1 mana short saving with the bow, but what can you do? Go to combat. Lose some mana. We'll put a counter on the Esper Sentinel. Why not? We get Joriel. Yeah, could be good. Let's just pass it off there. Unfortunately, we lost the extra mana. I wasn't able to undo it. Must have miscounted my lands. Joriel could be good for creature density. End of turn, we have a response. They're going to get back the Astral Drift. Makes sense to me. And we'll discard a bunch of lands because we have so damn many of them. Over to Extus. They are going to attack. So as long as we can assign blockers, I think we'll be good. They probably won't blink them out of the way, though. So let's see what we can block. Let's block Extus with the War Priest. If it comes back into play, that's fine, I suppose. I think we'll leave the Beast Whisperer back. This should be a lot of damage. I do not know if we're going to survive this. First strike combat damage. Our blocker goes down to Death Touch from Extus. Regular combat damage, we are down to 8. So we did lose the Cathar Commando. Psychosis Crawler, huh? Yeah, that could finish us off pretty well. Let's see if they can do it. There's Astral Drift coming down. They can pay the mana if they want. I doubt that they're going to, necessarily. No, they do. Nice. Flame Jab to the Esper Sentinel. It'll take another damage. Again, I didn't get to see what Extus got back. The windows keep closing on me every time something happens. It's really annoying. I hope they fix that someday. It's Haggle. This time they're getting back the Eternal Dragon. So far they haven't cycled anything, so we haven't lost any life. That's nice, I suppose. But we only have 1 turn out of this to do anything anyway. There's some cycling. Flame Jab, Esper Sentinel's gonna kick the can. Ruining Moloch back into play. They get to get back Valiant Rescuer. To our turn, we get a Plains because my deck hates me. Let's go ahead and play Sunpell Grove. Soul of the Harvest. We'll get 1 card. It's a Forest. Come on, deck. And we'll play Joriel. That'll give us 2 card draws. Hopefully something nifty will happen. Citadel Siege isn't quite what we need here. And Bane of Progress is not what we need either. Sadness. Alright, we get one more chance. We could win it here, but they could just blink our stuff away too. Juniper Order Ranger. No go. Alright, let's go to attacks. We'll put a counter on Leinore. Sure. We'll be able to draw one more card. Oh, my mistake. We were not 3 different powers. Okay, they have 2 cards in hand, possibly cycling. I guess we'll go to attacks. They do have Death Touch. Unfortunately, we do not have Trample. Okay, they don't look like they're blocking. Let's go ahead and activate our second ability on Joriel here. And, yep, we're going to have a cycle. Damn, we were so close. They will cycle our commander. Let's respond, I suppose, with our Bow of Nyla. But we won't counter on the Beast Whisperer. We will not let her go back to the command zone. Damage is good there, down to 8. Man, almost had it. Almost had it. End of turn. We will have to discard at the cleanup, but first we get back our commander. And we get to draw a card. If it's mass removal, like Winds of Abandon, I'm going to be a little bit peeved. I'm going to be honest. Nope, it's Balgad Recovery, which could still also be good. Let's get rid of some more lands. Extus' turn, they draw a card. We are down to 6. This should be it. I don't think there's any point where we can block enough damage. Yep, just the flyer. Good game to our opponent. Well fought. And there it is. I'll go ahead and give it to him. Cycling Extus, haven't seen that before. And there it is, 2 to us, 4 to the winner. Cool, let's go ahead and take a look at the deck, and probably needs like one more board wipe or something. I don't know, but let's go look. Alright, here's the deck. Did some improvements from last time, like I said, added more removal because you can never have enough. Apparently still don't necessarily have enough. Still didn't get to do Vanquish the Horde, really would have liked to do that. Bit of a sad face there. Hamza though, man. Hamza worked out great. Very thrilled that that came down. I mean, it doesn't do anything when it comes into play, but man, that follow-up is just great. I love it. Anyway, I don't want to get too far into it. If you want to check this deck out in its entirety, there's a link in the description below. This video went really long. I don't know what it is after editing, what it will come to, probably around 40 minutes, 45 minutes, but the game went over 2 hours. So it was quite the slog. So if you're still here, thanks for being here. Green-white to me is a bit of a slower color combination. It's usually not my favorite to play, but this one actually wasn't too bad. If you saw anything that you want to buy for yourself in paper, sealed product, or accessories to protect all that glory though, please consider using the affiliate links in the description below. It helps out the channel, doesn't cost you anything extra to do so. Until next time, stay safe out there.